the man himself.
Hi.
How are you, Sami?
All good. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
No worries.
Where in the world are you, my friend?
I'm in Lapland, actually.
Fantastic. I bet it's
Yeah, Finland.
freezing and ready to go for Christmas period.
Yeah, it's really good.
And funny season. So to come out winning the Rookie of the Year award on a weird season, I mean, it's a great achievement anyway, but to have the ability to do it when it goes back and forth, and obviously with all the breaks with the pandemic and stuff, how did that change things for you? Or because it was just year one for you, a complete clean slate? Or was it weird to win during the pandemic?
Uh, it was a crazy year. I mean, I played really good golf start of the season, and after the restart wasn't that good, but in the end, really good playing. And it was hard because the pandemic came to traveling and all the restarting and stopping to play. So it's nice to play really good in those conditions.
And you mentioned that you're there in Lapland now, and obviously the weather dictates that in Finland you practice mostly in the winter indoors. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, it's correct.
So do you think like having a season that would start, stop, start, stop gave you, as a kid, you've obviously practiced through a season where you play in the summer and then you have to stop again, and then you practice indoors. I mean, a lot of people probably can't relate to that. Do you think that
Mm,
helpful?
yeah, actually, that is really good point. When I normally come home, I almost have a 2 weeks off, especially in winter time. It You can practice a little bit with the trackman or putting, but it's not like similar to the grass or anything what you normally do in a tournament. So it could help. Like me, it's normally even I don't practice that much and then just go out and play. So might be easier.
So I was reading something about your ball striking, and you know, for me, you're such a new player to all of us. 22 years old on the European tour, get a win early in the year when you basically just said there you've been practicing winter on mats. And I read about you saying that you got on the tour and you felt your ball striking wasn't where you wanted it to be, and you went back to Finland and worked on that. How, I mean, I basically work on my ball striking all the time, but I can't get it just to be better that quickly. How did you improve it so quickly? I mean, obviously I've not got half the talent you've got, but how did you do that?
Uh, I need almost every time the information from the tournament playing because it's not, I mean, how to explain it? Uh, when you hit like a good shots in a row in the range, you can feel okay. It's maybe now in a good shape, but when you really go to the tournament, then you have the excitement and a little bit scary shots coming up, and if you're not able to do those shots, you will get the information. Okay, now I need to practice like this in the home and made some targets. Okay, now I'm ready to go back and start doing again. So that was what I did.
And we've got some questions coming in here, and we're going to get to them for sure. But just to keep on this, we were recently spending a bit of time at a photo shoot with Tiger Woods. Fantastic experience. He talks about changing his targets and changing his ball flight to give him feels. Were you doing that when you try and improve your ball striking, or is it a case of that you would take one club and hit the same target, the same target? Because if you're indoor, is it a lot into the net and you're purely relying on TrackMan, or is there also an outfield that you can hit to?
Most of the plays are just the net 3 meters and that's it. So you're
Unreal.
not able to see anything.
Unreal. And then Mark Thistleton, who services you, I believe, on the European Tour, one of our
Yeah.
guys there, he said that you came on the truck and had some great admiration for quite a few players that you played with, but there was one in particular that you felt was really good on the European tour that you got paired with. Do you recall that conversation? I don't want to say the name until perhaps. Is there anyone that you've played with so far that's really impressed you on the European tour?
I have to say, actually, I played last three in event. I played last 3 days with Martin Keimer, Tommy Fleetwood, and Lee Westwood. So those three guys was the best players for me.
And what did they have that you feel you want to get better at, or that we could perhaps as amateurs try and work on?
I mean, most of the guys for the attitude, they didn't scare anything, or if they hit the bad shot, they didn't show it, or even if they hit the really good shot, they just keep doing their own thing and they knew it, okay, the birdies will come, or if they started the well, they just keep going. So that was one of the biggest thing for me, seeing how those really good players play.
And meaning just staying patient and just playing their game, because I know you've talked about that, just playing your game.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some questions here. I'm going to pull them in, and they're going to sadly go over your face. I wish they could go over mine, so I apologize about that. But there's a couple we'll get into, and anyone listening will go through it even more. But here's a great one to start. When did you start playing golf, and who encouraged you to take up the sport? I think with Charlie Woods and Tiger Woods playing so much right now, when and who was that encouraged you, and you saw that and were like, yeah, this is something I want to do?
I think I was 5 years old when I first time tried to hit some golf balls, and it was range with my dad. So that has been the most inspiration.
And Dad and you still play now?
Yes, he is still playing.
And other people, anyone else around Finland who has influenced you?
Now because I started playing the competing and playing the international events, so I have to say Mikko Ilonen. He was the first main guy and won 5 times on the European tour and played in some PGA Tour events. So he was the Finnish hero.
And it's funny because I want to touch on that, but you might mention something about Mikko on this question. What was your key to success this year?
I think the key for this year has to be almost have to say the last year when I turned the pro and was able to competing in the pro level. So I knew it, okay, I have the confidence even to play in European tour. And then all the Finnish players, they helped me a lot when I came up playing the first event, and they were really nice guys. So if I need something help, they help me.
So let's touch on that, because there's a few things I want to talk about, and sorry, I can't remove this question. So if I could, I would. You mentioned Mikko Ilonen first of all. So Mikko and I, believe it or not, Sami, I'm older than I look. So I worked with Mikko a lot when he was on the European tour. His best finish on tour was, on the order of merit, was 18th. You've come out and finished 11th in your first year on the order of merit. You've won the Sir Henry Cotton Rookie of the Year. You're the first Finnish player to do that. Yet Mikko, you mentioned your father, you mentioned Mikko. Having achieved that in year one as a rookie, to beat one of the people that guided you and helped you, that must be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's especially for the rankings. Maybe finishing 11th, so you know you have played really good season. It's not only just the one highlight, so you have to be consistent.
Was there any banter between you and Mikko when you finished where you finished, and did you down and say, "Hey, slow down, rookie"?
No, it just chat me. It was really nice to see you playing good. So.
And then the next I mean, that sounds like Mikko. He's such a humble guy, and such a great supporter of I know Finnish golf and all people trying to play the game. You mentioned, and you casually go past it. You were top 10 world amateur in 2018, and then you again. I got all this information from Mark, but you went off the radar for a little while, and there was two things that came up. One, I found out you played some Nordic Golf League and some Pro Golf Tour stuff. So you sort of benched the amateur stuff. You didn't go to college in America. What was the thinking?
No, I didn't.
Why play all the professional events just before I know you were planning to turn pro, but you committed to mini tours, right? Even though you were holding a top 10 world amateur ranking. What was the thinking with that?
Actually, I think our main goal was to make it on top 5 for the amateur ranking. So actually, you get more points to playing those small pro events. So it was easier to get the points from there, and then you can see, okay, what is the next level for you and how much better you have to be to make it top 5 and move it on the challenge tour. So I get some information to playing those events.
Okay. And then another piece in all this, which I think is very hard for us to relate to, certainly for I'm English and we don't have military service. You at some point, Mark said that you texted him from a tent in like minus 30 conditions about, and you've been on military service. What year did that happen?
That happened 2018, end of the year, and then I was 5.5 months, 6 months. So it was 2018 October when I started, and then next 6 months I was in army.
So you were 6 months in military training during 2018.
Yeah, and I turned pro in that time, so it was a good start of the year.
And I think that that's a question right here that I've pulled up, and hopefully you can see it on your screen. But has Sami ever had to overcome some sort of adversity? What and how? I mean, I knew about your military training. Surely that is some adversity, or would you say, has there been anything else that you've had to overcome to get to where you are at such a young age?
Yeah, the military service it was hard, but it was still good learning place. And now if you took something on the golf course, so if you make a bogeys and it's still sunny and nice weather, so you can think, okay, it has been much tougher in the army.
Yeah, I completely get it. There's some greetings coming in here from your hometown. I know you're in Lapland right now, but you're from Nokia, right?
Yes.
And then what's your schedule? People are asking, where do you have any clue where you'll be playing come when we start back up here? What's the European Tour's plans? I take it you'll go to the Middle East?
Yeah, we're gonna start in Abu Dhabi, then Dubai and Saudi. That will be my first 3 events, and then I think so I can play in Mexico.
Yeah. And then Oman for defending, when does that fall into the schedule?
I think so. It's next week after the Mexico, the World Championship.
So going to Oman as defending champion, what are your thoughts there about that?
It could be a really exciting week, and it's nice to do it first time defending title. So I really enjoyed.
And then the putt that you held on 18 to get into the playoff. I mean, obviously, as I research a bit about you and look at this, I mean, it was 15 to 18 feet. It wasn't a short putt. What was your thinking there? Are you focused? What's your focus? Where's your mind at? Knowing that you have a putt to get in a playoff. What was your mindset?
I actually knew that I'm in a really good position. I was in the second place, and I knew it. Okay, if I have to make this putt to make it on the playoffs. So I just started, okay, now I can just try to do my best. And when I saw the line, I knew this has to go in. It was, I don't know why, but it was so easy putt. And I had a putting all the whole week really good, so I had a really good confidence.
Fantastic, fantastic. And then equipment-wise, I know that you held the putt with you were using a Spider right there. And let's talk a bit about your equipment. What have you found since being with TaylorMade? Where are you at with that? Is there anything that you've really enjoyed? I mean, someone's asked the question about it here. What's the reason for you going with TaylorMade? Congrats on your good season.
Yeah, I have known the Mark Diston really a long time. I think I have been with the TaylorMade now 5 years. Not in the contract, but I mean they have supported me really long time, and I have all the clubs, and I really like them play with the TaylorMade, and especially now the putter. I have been loving it now 2 years. I Before that I changed the putter so many times and couldn't find any good weapon, but now I really have it.
And what is it that you like about you use a Spider X, a copper and white one, from what I've seen with the short slant that is used by similar to Rory's putter. What is it that you particularly like about that?
I mean, it's really stabilized and easy to putt, and you will get so good roll every time. So in Europe, when we play different type of grass, the greens are you have some of the weeks have some grain or that kind of stuff. So you have to be able to get the ball rolling really well, and it helps.
You went through a great stretch in the summer in Europe, and it got you to. They have a for people watching, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this used to be the case, and this is how I think you got to the US Open. They put a mini order of merit for a number of events, and you led it or finished in the top three to qualify for the US Open. You went and played the US Open. Very different experience due to the pandemic. But what was your takeaway from there, the tournament, your first major in the US? How much golf had you played in the United States to that point? What was that like?
Yeah, we had a first six, seventh, and the UK swing, and top 10 from there. We'll qualifying for the US Open. So I finished seventh and made it to the US Open. Um, that week was normally when you see all the spectators, and it's crazy how many spectators there are. So with now it was really bit of different, but it was still really good experience. See all the best players in the world and competing that hard setup. So it was really nice week.
But the tournament itself, not having the fans and being so, there was a lot of staff around, a lot of officials. But the tournament's not having the fans. Do you think that played in your favour, being so early in your career?
Maybe a little bit, but I think I still wanted to see how much there is the spectators and how the crowds will be giving you cheer or giving you shit sometimes if you hit the bad shot. So that could be nice.
Yeah, and the New York crowds can be brutal, from what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, that could be.
And in terms of being in the States, have you been here much, or have you spent most of your time in Europe playing?
Actually, it was first event for me, so no much golf for me in USA. I've been 3 times practicing there, 1 month each time, so practicing a little bit, but no tournaments.
Do you think that we will see you in Carlsbad in the Kingdom at any point?
Hopefully.
Because the reason I ask is because I know that you're a big hockey fan, and it brings me to when people from the UK are sort of soccer, football fans, obviously they keep their home team, but they watch the other leagues around the world. When you're a hockey fan, do you just have a specific Finnish team that you like, or do you follow someone in the NHL as well?
In NHL, I follow the Calgary Flames.
Wow. Who's them? What's the connection?
My cousin, he's playing there, so that's why.
That's a good connection. And then in Finland, who's the team you support in Finland?
It's called Tampere Ilves. It's my hometown where I live now, so it has been all time my team.
And do you play hockey yourself?
Not anymore. Just for fun if I have some time. But
so do you think that we will see you at the Kingdom at some point? Because the reason I ask is that Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, is a friend of his. And I don't know if you know him or have met him, but he's also a friend of Mikko's. And I think if ever you're over, I'd love to get a game with you boys and get you to meet and get him into town. He lives just up the road, so I'm sure he would love to meet you or hang out if you guys have or have not met each other. And I guess you could talk hockey and talk golf and whatever you want.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And do you know
Love to do that.
Have you met Teemu before?
No, I haven't.
Because I understand he's a big deal in Finland. Like he's a big deal here. So he's like the Steven Gerrard of hockey, from my understanding. And my hockey understanding is pretty much just below my golf. I mean, there's not a lot. So
yeah, he's really big team in Finland.
Yeah, that's good. Let's finish off here with a couple of questions, and then this one's quite a good one actually. How did you pick your caddy?
We had some tournaments playing last year with my caddy, and he has been my really good friend now 10 to 15 years. So we have known each other really well, long time, and I just knew it because this pandemic we're gonna use so many time together, even in the bubbles and that kind of stuff. So it was easier to me to talk with him and living together. So that's why I decided him.
Okay, so it's more of a friend relationship than someone. And is he a good golfer?
Yeah, he played 2 or 3 years in professional level, but then he quit and started studying.
Okay. And how many times per week do you train? Are you a big workout guy?
Not really. I try to 3-4 times per week.
Okay. What's your best round ever?
61.
And that was 11 under?
Yeah.
Were there any feelings when you were coming in about shooting 59, or was it not even on the cards?
No, it wasn't. I finished really good, so I didn't have the chance to make it 59.
It's still impressive. I've only got close to that on the PlayStation. So, what's your motivation?
Like in golf or?
I think both. I mean, golf and life, and what's motivation to do to be the best you can be?
I think just winning all the kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if it's in golf or just some games, and I love the sport and winning.
Okay. And then there are a lot of questions naturally, and then we'll make this the last one because I would like to hear your feelings on it, because I think it's such a hot topic right now. Charlie Woods played, obviously the father-son. What's your opinions on seeing that for the game? Because Tiger Woods, you probably didn't see you probably caught the back end of his dominance as a kid. I'm sure you can remember that. But opinions on Charlie playing and what we're seeing now?
Yeah, I saw some highlight videos, and it was really nice to see Tiger and Charlie, they enjoying playing, and he had a really, really good shots sometimes and really good swing. So he could be a good player.
And I think that you know the messages about getting to be rookie of the season on the European Tour is a major feat. To do it under military service, under conditions of being in the winter, only practicing into a net. To do it the way you've done it gives a lot of credit to you. And that's what I when I read about you, I'm like, wow, I know Finland is not an easy place to achieve what you've achieved. So what advice would you give to a young player who wants to do what you've done? And there was a lot of questions in here, and apologies to the guys watching if I didn't get to them all, but that was an obvious one. What would you say? What would be your one piece of closing advice to a youngster to get to where you are today?
Believe in yourself. I think that has been my key. Just feeling my own way and practicing when somebody is saying, okay, you have to practice 8 hours and do that and that, but just the own feel, just being so hard and practicing, but doing the own thing. What do you like and what do you believe in yourself?
Sami, I think it's amazing to listen to you talk, and I really appreciate you giving your time. Make sure you say hello to Mikko for me, because I haven't seen him in a little while.
I will.
And have a great Christmas and stay safe and all that. And I look forward to possibly seeing you in Mexico. I might be there, so it'd be
nice.
But thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks, buddy.
See you.